Good evening, I'm Giuseppe Basile. I'm the Analyst and Trading Mentor. You can find at the website www.vipstalker.com. I also post regularly on Twitter using the @vipstalker nickname. Good evening. Today is April the 14th, 2014. It's 10 past 9 p.m. time in Toronto. And in this video, I'm going to review for you the 11 markets I follow. This is a daily update that complements yesterday weekly newsletter. If you want to receive that newsletter, just go to my website, subscribe for free, only takes few seconds, and I only use your email for the purpose of the communication. I hate spam as much as you do. So let's start from this euro dollar, which you see on the screen is the daily. You will remember that I mentioned that this level of support 137.22 has been confirmed once when we broke on the upside this 137.63 level, and there was also confirmation of targets of this area of support, and those targets come at the 140.80 level. And when we broke 138.53, they were confirmed, and those first level of target also lines up with the with the 141 level from the larger time frame. So at the moment we are looking at correction, and I indicated two levels. One was the all the way halfway back from recent lows at the beginning of April, and the other level would be an extension, and we are just trading that extension right now. So a possible trade would be to enter, a potential trade, of course, you have to always to mind risk, would be to enter this 13.20 area here with a stop below 137.61. The next target is going to be previous highs, be revisited, and there is a possibility for this market to get right into 141. Moving to the SP500, as I mentioned yesterday in the weekly review, we had this level of support here, again coming from the lows we saw at the beginning of February to recent highs, and this support came into play. And on the downside, we had a sequence. We now have a sequence of measure moves. So the first trace of the sequence was this 1861 resistance level and area. Price never got above 1869, 1870, and as you can see, hit the first target in 16, and then hit support here at this level. Now there's still the possibility for this market to just continue lower into the second target 1793 and into the 1789-88, breaking this this level here. But if that does not happen, then we're going to look at the next measure move here in the sequence. So I want to study what happens very carefully, what happens around these previous highs here, and but more than previous highs, this is the next sequence in the measure move. So in the sequence of measure moves, so 1835, if we start getting participation on the downside with a stop above 1843.75, always mind risks here. There is the possibility to get right into that first level of target, and also the 61%, 0.8% of this move from most to high. So I'm still looking for a continuation lower here in this market. Moving to the dollar index, of course, we had that reaction that we were all waiting for, also because this market retested previous lows, and of course you want to test that level of extension which stays from this 80.48 anchor to lows. There's still the possibility for this market to retrace all the way halfway back. We will see if that happens and how weak or strong is this move higher. But anyway, at some point knowing that this market has traded shorts here at the beginning of April, I still looking for a potential continuation lower. The next market is going to be gold. Gold, as anticipated, once we confirm the area of support here from lows to lows. When price broke above 1305, we have actually a continuation higher, confirmation of this area of support starting 1885, and I told that the first level of resistance for this market would have been 1334. So we need to understand now how this market is going to behave around this area of resistance. And of course, everything connected. This is also depends on how the dollar is going to behave. There is a possibility for a continuation lower if this area of resistance is participated by shorts, or if we break 1347. For this market, we have targets above, and the first target is going to be right at this previous highs into this 1438. Now, moving to the Japanese major, starting from the US dollar versus Japanese yen. You will remember that in the last few days, I've been looking at this 101.50 area of support, which provided support 1, 2, 3, 4, and now 5 times. And the sequence of measured move on the downside is still at this stage is still active, as you can see here. Excuse me, but price is challenging this level, so I traced this sequence of measured move starting from this level. This level could only be identified after the fact the first time, although I identified it before actually the April the 9th, just because this kind of trace is very common, and I repeat all the time, over and over. As you can see, this trace hit first target, and then the second trace is now the level that in my belief and based on my method is controlling price. So if price continues below 101.33, we will see a continuation. If we breaks above 102.07, this will be a confirmation of this area of support 101.50, and then we can see a continuation higher. So there is a potential for an entry long in this market, US dollar versus Japanese yen, if we move above 102.07. Moving to the euro versus the Japanese yen here, there is a very similar situation here, and this level of support in this case is 140, and it acted as support 1 and 2 times, and there is a possibility for this level to be retested again for a continuation higher, as we are seeing in the US dollar versus the Japanese yen. Of course, it also depends how the US dollar will behave. However, I tend to trade these pairs without looking at what the other the opposite forex currency is doing, because in my experience, when there is a signal or an area of support resistance for program trading, it tends to be respected more often than not. So in this case, we didn't test the all the halfway back short 141.78 here just yet. So this market is just correcting laterally. It might test this level and come down, or it might retest again 140.03. So there is not really a lot we can tell about this market. Moving to the pound versus Japanese yen here, same situation here. However, we saw end of last week, we saw the failure of all the way halfway back, which means that this market could now go to retest this 168.74, or start moving laterally if we move higher and we break above this 171.75, which would actually bring price, keep price within this two level 169.80 and 161.70 until we have either a breakdown or a breakout. But at the moment, I mean, I'm looking for a continuation lower into the 168.74, and the reason for that is also because we had shorts coming into play here on the daily. As we can see, we had participation at 171.60, which is actually pressing price downwards into this 161.30 level, and potentially lower into 168.74. The level was not touched just yet. Finally, I want to touch on the last 4 pairs of follow, starting from the pound versus the US dollar, and this is the daily chart of this market. And you remember that we here we had a change in trend. Once we saw that price did not fail this 165.49, that for me it would have meant the continuation lower. That never happened, and And actually, the price, as we can see here, on the other hand, went from 165.74 to hit the first target 167.36, and to the pip the second target. And after that, we saw participation. You can see from this example how powerful these levels are. And how powerful program trading is. Now, the next sequence in the measure move failed, as we can see here, and that for me meant that we would see a larger retracement, possibly into the old way halfway back here, and that's the level I'm watching at the moment for this market. If we get there and we break the sequence of measure move lower, there will be an opportunity to get long in this market. And if you keep following me, I'll show when the sequence of measure move of these move down now 3 bars, the 4 bars bar start just forming here. If we get into this 166.42, we will see whether this is going to act, this level and the area starting from this level is going to act as a support, and we'll see participation from program trading. The Australian dollar versus the US dollar, you will remember that we are following a level of support here, at least that acted as a support so far, potentially up a weaker dollar would keep sustaining this price, the price of this pair higher. However, we have to always keep the pair in perspective, and there is a possibility now for a retracement to all the way halfway back. And similar to what happened to the gold mini. So, and that will happen if we break 093.55. That would be for me an indication for a potential short. Always mind the risk here, and there is always a possibility of a loss with a stop above highs, and with a first target in the 09060 area here, and that's what I'm looking for this pair. Moving to the US dollar versus the Canadian dollar, you will remember that this pair has confirmed his area of support starting at 109.16, and why it confirmed it? It confirmed it because we had a sequence of measure move, you will remember, and 10.76 would only be observed after the fact, but it broke price into first and second target, and this gave us the opportunity to trace the next measure move in the sequence, and price did not respect this sequence, as we saw price moving above 109.46, and this would have been also an entry point with a stop below slow. So now there is a possibility for this market to retrace a little bit, so I'll remove this recent trace here, and there is a possibility for this market to retrace into the old way halfway back, and this would be an actual entry again, and potential entry, of course, and you have to always keep stops below lows. Finally, New Zealand dollar versus US dollar. Those who follow me will remember that we hit targets to the pip for the larger setup at 081.10 here. It was this 087.45, so congratulations if you follow this trade. And then we have now a new area of support which worked so far, 085.46, and the first target is 087.72, and there is the possibility for a continuation higher. Notice that this market also traded the old halfway back here. Support is coming from 86.30, and there is the potential for this market to push higher into that 027.72 and even 087, 088 basically here. This is it for tonight review. I hope this review helps you with your trading. I wish you a very good evening and a great trading week and continuation of your trading week tomorrow. Bye bye now.